We heard GM Les Snead say similar stuff yesterday about Jared Goff. It seems like the Rams are dissatisfied in some way with what Goff has been delivering, and they don't seem to want to commit publicly to him, whether that's trying to light a fire under him, whether they're indicating they want to move on from him, remains to be seen. But just another layer of intrigue in this quarterback offseason we've been discussing.
Look at those quotes. I mean, Cindy, leave those up there. That's what he said. The general manager said Jared Goff is a Ram at this moment. And then he actually used the phrase beautiful mystery. He used Aaron Rodgers' words a week later. I mean, Dominique, who's he talking to?
What do you mean? You know he's talking to. He's talking to Aaron Rodgers. He may be talking to Aaron Rodgers, or he's talking to the players on his own team. He's making sure they all know that they see what you see. We all see the same thing. Jared Goff is good, but he's not good enough. And if we can get Aaron Rodgers to look over here, we're going to make whatever sounds we can make, say whatever words. They're going to probably be wearing that shirt that Aaron had on. The whole front office and coaching staff about to grow mustaches today and come out and stand there and just start chanting beautiful mystery to try to get Aaron Rodgers to come to L.A. So you know what that's all about, Mike.
It's incredible. Ryan Clark, what do you think?
Well, I think they just had enough with Jared Goff, and I think they understand it. And now they've gotten to a point to where they don't care. Obviously, they're done coddling him. They're done trying to push him along. It's like when T-Pain answered the phone on Kiss Kiss, and old boy said, "My old lady ain't doing the things she used to do no more." That's what Jared Goff is. He's not doing the things he did in his Super Bowl run. He's not doing the things he did when he was a Pro Bowler. And so they're tired of dealing with it. You don't have to have that relationship. You don't have to rub his head. Listen, he was healthy and could play in Seattle, obviously, because he played in Seattle. They chose the other dude. They chose the guy that was under 6 foot. They chose the guy that was playing in the AAF. They didn't want Jared. Jared probably doesn't play in Green Bay. They probably feel like he's a large reason why they lost, even though they couldn't stop people. So Les Snead, Sean McVay, all of those people say the reclamation project that was Jared Goff this first year to his second year, we did that. Now the reclamation project is over. We can't do anything more. We can't progress him further. And so now they're trying to figure out, what are we going to do with all this money we got on the books, all this money we owe him, because we can't get rid of him. But we want Jared to know that, Jared, we see you for who you are, and you better try to be something different.
Well, let's put some actual numbers to that. I mean, Dan, moving on from him this season is practically impossible.
Not practically. It's impossible. They are totally stuck with this guy. $27.5 million fully guaranteed for this year. He's got another $25 million plus next year, of which $15.5 is already fully guaranteed. They cannot. If they cut him, it's $61 million dead money this year. That's a third of what the cap is going to be. So impossible, not practically. And I don't know who's trading for that contract and all that money. So at this point, yes, they are stuck. Now, look. Could they bring in a cheaper option and compete with him? And if that guy ends up being the guy, then maybe Jared Goff's a highly paid backup until they can get out of the contract. But look, what are they going to do? Use their first-round pick on a quarterback? Oh, wait, they don't have one. So the Rams are in a situation where if they don't like Jared Goff anymore, I've got some bad news for them. He's not just a Ram right now. It's going to be really hard for him not to be a Ram this time next year.
RC, I got 30 seconds. Go.
Explain to me how, right now, we're talking about Jared Goff being poo the entire year, being the reason this team ain't good. Les Snead not wanting him, and the Seattle Seahawks find it fit to go get Shane Waldron, who was the pass game coordinator for the Rams. Explain that. I'm just confused. I know this is off the subject.
I'll explain it. I can do it. It's easy to explain. Sean McVay. Sean McVay could get an alien hired in this league. You just got to be near him. You just got to be near him. We can solve all the racial issues with coaches. We just got to give Sean McVay a whole black staff.
A black coach.
The whole league will be black after that because you just got to be near him.
His secondary coach is, and they ball. Aubrey Pleasant ain't getting no job.
Brandon Staley was a D3 coach 5 years ago. This man is a head NFL coach, and he deserves it. He's going to be great. But it's because he was within Sean McVay's proximity. Last thing I'll say, congratulations, Jared Goff. Way to get that money. He stuck them boys all the way up, and I'm proud of him. Get that
Put the
bag,
money in their
Jared.
bag.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line, I literally, now, this time I mean it, I have 30 seconds. Is he just not good enough to win with? I mean, Dominic,
So you lied.
that quickly, is he not good enough to win with?
I mean, no. They didn't land on Jared Goff. Jared Goff landed on him. They did not draft him. They got there and they were stuck with him, and they figured out a way to work with it.
They went to a Super Bowl. RC, can't win with him? 10 seconds.
They can win one. They can win.
Yeah,
He can
that's
get
like, I mean,
he can do it.
7,
it's
They lost the Super Bowl by 10 points with him.
3,
he's going to be their quarterback
1.
next year, and they know it. That's why I don't understand what time they meet each other. The first meeting was in 2018. Patriots had a big lead. Chiefs came back to tie it. Steven Gostkowski kicked a field goal to win it at the end. Brady and Mahomes threw for 692 yards. They would meet again in the AFC Championship that year. You remember that game. An incredible fourth quarter, 5 touchdowns, huge penalty, Chiefs field goal to overtime, and then Brady with a touchdown to win it in the OT. In 2019, they played each other again. Mahomes, his first win over Brady, it was 23-16. Brady had a chance to tie it on a 4th and goal, but the ball got batted down. That sealed that game. And then early this season, they met. Mahomes threw for 462 yards, 269 of them going to Tyreek Hill. They had a big lead. Tampa came back. It wound up being 27-24 Kansas City. Meanwhile, did you hear what Jeff Saturday said yesterday here? Listen to this.
The dumbest thing people could say. The future GOAT? What does that even freaking mean? The future GOAT. You're either the GOAT or you're not the GOAT. Tom Brady is going to go play in his 10th Super Bowl, and to cast it away because you have a young kid who's playing lights out, it's just disrespectful. That has nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes, but you ain't the GOAT, bro. I can't stand him. You can say he's a great quarterback, best in the game right now. Don't talk about the GOAT nonsense until we get there.
That was Jeff yesterday. Dominique, what do you think?
I mean, he was fired up. Everybody knows how much I love Jeff Saturday, but he's dead wrong right there. Like, we got to fill these hours with something. What else are we going to talk about? I'm happy to compare Patrick Mahomes to any of his peers. You name me. You name him. Show me his opponent. He's not out there. We have to compare him to ghosts because what he is doing right now is unbelievable. We've never seen it before. I'm not going to compare him to Deshaun Watson, as great as he is. Not going to compare him to Lamar Jackson. He's not in the same conversation as Josh Allen. The only person that I can think of that he's in the conversation with is Tom Brady, and he's much better than Tom Brady was at this point in his career. And when Tom Brady was 3 years in as a starter, there's no conversation. So I understand why you might be annoyed, and future GOAT is kind of a silly moniker. But what else we going to call him? God? Because that's how he's playing when he goes out there on the field.
That's very well said. And look, normally, I get it when people say, hey, pump the brakes, you're overstating it. But Ryan Clark, in the case of Patrick Mahomes, I don't think we are. I think it is reasonable to look at him and say, this guy looks like he has a chance to be the greatest of all time. I don't think it's actually overstating the case in this guy.
Listen, 100%. And it's also not just because of our eyes, right? Usually at this stage of their career, we're using our eyes and being like, this dude could be one of the all-time greats. And that is true. When you watch him, he's one of the best we've ever seen. You put him up there with Aaron Rodgers, and then it's Patrick Mahomes from the way that he plays the position. But then you look at the team. The dude has had no maturation process. There hasn't been a wait and see kind of thing with Patrick Mahomes. The first time we saw him replacing Alex Smith in the last game, he balled. The next year, he won the MVP, got to the AFC Championship. Next year, got to the Super Bowl, won the MVP. This year, got to the Super Bowl again. Like, all we've seen this dude do is succeed. And to be honest, Jeff's just mad because now we could just overpass Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning's no longer in this conversation. Ooh. And those were the hands that he felt pressed against him his whole life. So I understand that. But when you look at Patrick Mahomes, you can honestly say, you know what? Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to win 6. He doesn't have to go to 10. He doesn't have to play for 2+ decades because we know when we look at him, he's better than Tom Brady actually ever was. Even when Tom Brady threw 50 to Randy Moss, we didn't go, gosh, this is the best we've ever seen one look. But it was up there. He's the GOAT because of consistency and the constant excellence. If Patrick Mahomes wins 4, wins 5, with the type of dominance he's had early, he is going to be the GOAT. And many of us are going to say that. So it's right to have this conversation now because it's truly the only conversation to have.
I also can't figure out what's going to happen that's going to keep him from winning more.